are y'all this week? Hey, breakers. How are y'all this week? Hey, breakers.
Get your hands up. Get your hands up.
Hi, breakers. How are y'all this week?
Come
How
on.
are y'all this week?
Come
How are
on.
y'all this week?
Come
How are
on.
y'all this week?
Come
How are
on.
y'all this week?
Come on. I was like, keep going too.
Oh, how are y'all? For real.
I know. You can tell we do it good.
It's a new week.
Ain't it though? Yes.
And I got energy.
Lots of it. We had our shoot yesterday.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Like, I don't know where this is coming from.
See?
I am exhausted.
It's showtime.
It's showtime.
And for the breakers.
At the Apollo.
Okay.
It's showtime. At the Apollo. Boom, boom, boom. Da, 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 da.
Okay, I would say this right now. With all the singing that you've given us in the beginning, we better have a brand new Help Me Fix My Life.
You don't. I did not. I'm going to just wing it. You know?
You better be thinking of something now because listen here, we're going to keep it up.
I'm not thinking. I can't think about that while we're doing this or else I'll be dry.
Okay, listen here. We don't put limits. You can.
Do you want me to be dry? Or do you want me to be 100% focused on this task at hand? Let's just be very clear.
We're going to stay present. All right. Let's bring her back on
stay
in.
Present. So tell me about your week, Karl. Tell me about your week.
I went first last week. It's your turn.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't know we were taking turns about each other's week.
Well, we're supposed, yeah, you know, last week.
Oh, yeah, you did go last week. You talked for a good daggone 15 minutes. Shoot.
I knew you was going to say something. Right.
I'm just playing.
So I was talking about Kathy. She was a beautiful soul.
I said I was playing.
See, I'm going to need you to get some sleep before you get up on here and start recording because you're so grumpy. I can't even call you hangry. I got to call you slangry. There we go.
I'm not hungry, though, at all.
That's why I still have to call you slangry.
Oh.
Sleepy and hungry.
I'm not hungry.
Oh, that's right, huh?
Oh, you're high.
No, actually, I'm not.
Okay.
I've been running all day, like trying to get things done and running as far as like mentally. So I'm kind of like needing to zone in to focus.
I forgot to tell you. So, you know, you was over on Saturday.
Right.
And Mom, it was when we were on our way to the fair. I'll tell you, I went to the fair. But when we were on our way to the fair, she was like, Karl is skinny.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, yeah, see, Karl would like to hear that.
You know what? That's because I've worked so hard to get down here.
Exactly.
And let me just tell people, it wasn't going to the gym.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to start timing now.
No, really, I was just going to say it wasn't going to the gym because I don't enjoy the energy in the gym. I'm really just trying to pay attention to my energy. And when I go into the gym, I feel tension and anxiety. And I know that's because other people are letting it out, which is good for them. But for me,
they're stressed.
Yeah. And going into a place where I'm really sensitive to people's energy, I just have to be aware of it. And the gym is not the place for me. So I found
everybody is angry at the gym.
Well, it's
Have
not...
you realized that?
But
no, it is that. It is that. They are angry because...
Or stressed or anxious.
Or stressed. Or, you know, it's something. Because every time I like try, because you know I don't go. But every time I try, you know, I'm like, everybody's so mad. And I put my music on and I like start walking and I'm like,
you feel the energy.
I'll just walk around the block.
And that's why I said I found ways to do things at home. Like there's an app where they can teach you different exercises that you can do with things around your home. And it works just, you know, and before we even had gyms and all this other stuff, people used to do push-ups and sit-ups on their own using their own natural body weight. So for me, that just works better because I can control the energy and the space that I'm in. And it's not being open to everybody else's stuff that they're putting out or putting off or getting off themselves. Which
is good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad that, you know, people use that as a tool, but
absolutely. I know, but that's why I don't go. So I'm glad that, you know, I was able to get back down to 145 without having to be in the gym and doing it my way. You know, let me just tell you a story. Because remember when I first moved back here and I told you I read it to somebody in the mall? I'm saying it because it goes into...
We're talking about Karl's week, so you just keep going. Then we'll talk about mine. And then we'll talk about mine. So you just carry on, Carlita.
Okay, well, I'm going to get it out now. However, we've both been chiming in, so don't be trying to consider all this my time. Because you will. Because you try to be sneaky like that and be like, you've been talking for 9 minutes. And it's been both of us.
And it was. And
last week I was, you're right. But this week it's been both of us. Right.
And did.
So, no, I ran into somebody that was trying to have me start a product, to purchase their product from them, and they were like, yeah, well, you're skinny, but you're skinny fat. And I was like, what does that mean? What is skinny fat? We talked about that term.
I remember. That was the Herbalife person.
You're so messy.
Cause say it again.
Anyway.
Cause say it again, girl.
No, anyway, nothing against them at all. They have their business and it works for them. That just wasn't something I was willing to do. And I found something that works for me. Hey. However, my week has been absolutely wonderful.
Yay.
We had the shoot. I ran into some.
Served looks, honey.
That shoot was so much fun. That was a lot of fun. The whole day was fun. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah,
that
it was
morning,
nice.
We went to...
That morning was fun.
Yeah, for Pride. And so I'm really excited to be working with them this year and volunteering. My first time ever volunteering at a Pride. So I think it's going to be fun.
Me too. I'm so excited. It sounds like it's going to be lots of fun. And then afterwards, we actually, you guys, then we get to enjoy.
Right.
I mean, we could have enjoyed both days for free, just for volunteering.
Exactly.
I don't know if this is all different cities, but in San Diego, if you volunteer any of the days, you get into the festival free for both days.
That's
all
right.
you have to do is, come in and say, hey, I'm volunteering on Sunday. They'll let you in on Saturday and Sunday after your shift, or vice versa. But the cool thing is, when I was reading the room, it was just so diverse.
Yes.
Straight, gay, and indifferent.
That's correct.
And I was like, because my expectation was, everybody's going to be it's going to be the gay boys and then their homegirl who's, likes being around the boys.
That's right.
Or it was going to be, a whole bunch of lesbians and, their one homeboy that's down for whatever.
Right.
But it was just great to see such a variety. We weren't the only blacks.
We weren't.
It wasn't all white.
That's right.
It wasn't all Asian.
It wasn't all male.
It wasn't all Hispanic. It wasn't all male.
It was nice.
It was like 50-50. So it was just really nice. And then it seemed like everybody's energy except for
well, there you go.
Was on point. But yeah, so it just seems like, and then the just spirit of Pride and how when the guy was talking about it, how excited he was, and we've been doing this for 50 years. And,
Bob,
it's
the head
great.
of it. Yeah, he's so energetic, and it's nice to see somebody like that over something and be passionate about it. Yeah, it was nice to see him when he walked in and did his quick speech. Yeah,
his little
absolutely
speech,
wonderful.
Yeah. So anyway, continue.
While we're talking about that, it's funny that you say that is because the reason I'm so glad, and I said this after we walked out because we all went to go get something to eat before we started the shoot, but I said, I'm glad I'm doing this is because even though I am a part of the LGBTQ plus community, myself, I also still have biases on things that, Oh my goodness. I wish y'all could have saw that. Trina dropped something and scared herself. It was the funniest thing ever. Her face was brilliant. Oh.
Oh man. I got my headphone. So not funny.
No, she got up. She got up off the floor and her hair was all messed up. Oh my God. I wish y'all could have saw it. It's so funny. She's so lost.
Okay.
She's all over the place right now. It's so funny. Oh my goodness. Oh God. Okay. Forgive me. That would took me in. Okay. But what I was saying is that
Wait.
Oh, this is funny.
All right. Jesus.
You just all bamboozled. Oh, okay, y'all. So I'm glad that she is now back together. But anyway, back to what I was saying, though.
All right.
It's just, I'm glad that I'm volunteering with them because there's prejudices that I have within myself.
Yeah.
And within our community that I'm glad that it caused me to look at myself while we were there, based on personalities and based on stereotypes that I have about, other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good that it's opening me up to things. and causing me to just continue to better myself. So that's the main reason why I'm glad that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited and I can't wait to get there. Again, that's going to be a busy weekend because we have, and, unfortunately, we don't get to enjoy both days because Saturday is my graduation party. I know. I'm so excited. And that's actually going to be I'm really, really excited because so far the people who I know are going to be there, their energy is going to be great. And I think it's literally going to be an amazing time where I get to bring all of my worlds and the people who remained in all of those different worlds coming together with a good energy. Like, I'm really excited for that. Yep. And then my graduation, and then Sunday Pride, and then Monday I'll sleep, hopefully, because that's going to be a busy someone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully you'll sleep.
Right. So now, how about your weekend? See, that one ain't nothing but 6 minutes.
I'm sure it was longer than that, but who's counting?
It wasn't, because we were sharing. Okay.
So my week was great.
Good.
Had a really good week. And like Karl said, this weekend we got to hang out and get some work done, get a little shoot done. And that was just nice. And then I went with my mom to the San Diego County Fair.
Yes.
And we had us a good old time. It was Gospel Day or whatever they call it. I got to tell y'all this story, though. Am I like a target? I feel like I'm a target. So Mom and I got food and we're...
Speaking of food?
Nope. No.
I just want you to please say something positive about the place that we ate at because our food experiences have been bad.
I don't remember. What was the name of it?
Oh, my goodness.
I tagged it.
Oh, did you?
If you could look on my Instagram story.
Okay.
Then I'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, because their food was really good.
Look and let me know the name of it and then I'll tell. So while we're there, we grab our food and we're looking for a place to sit to eat. And the fair is
big.
Not really any seating like that.
Right.
So there was this stand-up tables and there was this white guy sitting there eating his food. Mm-hmm. And there was enough room for me and Mom. So I walked up to him. I was like, hey, do you mind if, we share the table with you? And he goes, as long as you don't talk.
Oh. With you and your mom?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So we were like, oh, okay. So Mom plays it off.
Right. If
y'all don't know, my mom is like a very Christian lady. So, she plays it off and she's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. So me and her are talking to each other, and, not bothering him at all. And so then he looks at us and he's like, he's like just figuring us out. And he goes, so what's the concert today? Because there's a lot of blacks out today.
Oh, my God. And he said it out loud. He wasn't thinking it.
He was talking to us. He asked
Jesus
that
Christ.
question to us. And so me and Mom look at each other and then we just look at him and go, oh, well, it's Gospel Day. And he goes, oh, okay. Yeah. All right. That makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he proceeds to have a conversation with us and is talking about how, he does fairs all over the country. Like he was at a fair in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Or was it Indianapolis?
Indianapolis is a city as well.
Right. It was one of those polices. And he was just saying how there was a lot of, that's all. He's the only white person at those fairs.
What?
Because he works he has like a gaming booth at the fairs.
But even still, he wouldn't be the only the only white person because both of those cities have a lot of white people.
But he's saying it's a lot of black people that go to the fairs. And then he said how he's like on the East Coast and on the South a lot. So he's used to being around, like to clean it up,
right.
To make it, because he said the blacks, like, why are there so many blacks here? Like, kind of like
right, but the blacks makes it worse.
Like how Trump said, I love the blacks.
Exactly. There's my black. Right.
So anyway, so then after that, he proceeds to tell us how his wife is Costa Rican and how,
Clean it up, right? He's backpedaling now.
Since they're Spanish, he's like, they said, oh, we're going to go out. So he's thinking, oh, great. At 5:00, I go and get dressed and everybody's still asleep. And when they say go out, they mean like they leave the house at like 10:00. So he said, so I was really expecting the Mexicans to be out here because,
Okay. All right. I just
because this is a Mexican town. And so
oh my God.
He said, but it's been crazy how, the Mexicans haven't been out at night. It's not been a lot of people.
Where is he from? Like, where does he live?
So basically, like you said, backpedaling, cleaning it up.
Yeah.
And then so finally, after, he finishes the conversation, of course, me and Mom are being polite and still engaging with him.
Or trying to.
He goes, all right, ladies, have a blessed day.
Okay, let's do a mashup here. A racist who married a foreigner who's Christian. Yeah. So Donald Trump's base.
Donald Trump's spawn.
Right, because Donald Trump claims to be a Christian who's racist who married a foreigner.
Yes.
So, hey.
But what I think it was is he was trying his best to have a conversation, and he only can hold a conversation in the way that he normally speaks to people. Right. And so my thought is his interaction is mostly with white other males. Exactly. Or white people. And that is the lingo for it. We are the blacks and they are the Mexicans, and I mean, because I don't ever recall saying the whites.
That's correct.
When I speak about people who are Caucasian.
Yeah, I've never used that either, honestly. And I don't say the Asians.
Or on the fair-skinned side.
Right.
So.
I wonder why they use that, though. Why do they use the word the in front of them? Because we don't do that. Even though we're referring to others, it's like, oh, he's Asian or he's Korean. Like, oh, the black guy or the white person or the Asian guy that was there. You describe it because of their ethnicity, but you don't say the Asians. We were in downtown San Diego, and I didn't say the Mexicans are heavy in this area. Okay, we were in Old Town. Right, Thank you, Old Town. Thank you. Which, if y'all ever been here, it is just like being in Tijuana or Juarez, it really was. It was amazing. You know what? But that brings something to my mind. Maybe this man has never been outside, because it's funny. As soon as we got into the area and I saw the theming, well, not the theming, but I saw the style of the area, I automatically knew, okay, yes, this reminds me so much of Tijuana. And we said that out loud, but then it wasn't like, oh, and look, and there's the Mexicans. So maybe he has, do you know what I mean? Maybe he hasn't experienced anything outside of exactly, and that was the thing, and that's and even after that, I was talking to one of the friends that we met up with, and I said to her, were they a black? Yeah, she was a black. She was a high yellow black, but she's a black. I'm going to start using that from now on. I'm just going to start putting and the in front of all of the ethnicities because it's funny. Yeah, so she's a black too, and she's got a black boy as a son. He's a black too. I hate you. But anyway, I'm talking to her and I was like, I am so amazed at the growth that I have, because in that situation on a normal thing, I'm like, come on now. Like when he first said, as long as you don't talk, it would have been like, you would have triggered off. What you say? What? And I know last week I was talking about how growth, and I still scratched the guy's car. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, a week later, you said nothing. Come on now. These occurrences continue to happen as a test of my growth. That's right. And for me to utilize my growth in all these situations, and I just think it's so awesome how that just continues to manifest itself. And I agree. But yeah, so we have fun at the fair anyway. Nonetheless, even with racist Robbie, we enjoyed ourselves. The Walls group opened up for the Clark sisters, and both of them sang Heaven Down. Come on now. But Karen, y'all don't know, I love me some Karen Clark. Like, I like all the other Clark sisters. They're cool. And Dorinda is really great, but I love me some Karen. Yeah. Okay. Because I was excited when you sent me that first clip, because I was thinking that it was going to be Karen, and you tricked me. You're not alone. You're not alone. Oh, yeah. I'll help you to understand. You better master them tricks. All right, girl. I just love her. Yeah. But anyway, so that was my week. But think about it though. That is a brilliant thing to be able to do. That's masterful.
Listen, you don't even realize how much air you have to hold into your body to be able to continuously do those notes at the same level, but you're just backing
perfect
further
pitch
away from the mic.
Yes.
Perfect pitch. Like, this is not a reverb effect on her
You're right.
voice.
She's naturally doing it. That's brilliance.
That's just like Layla Hathaway in that double
tone
thing
that's right.
got going in her throat.
Those are gifts. Right. It's not quite like that, but I get where you're going.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It is
that's
a good week. That's
my attempt at the Hathaway.
The split. I know. Okay, so how about this? Is it time to move on?
It is time for the next segment of the week.
And what's it going to be? And
we have a special guest.
We do.
This week. Y'all know well, y'all don't know. I'm about to tell you. It's our music episode.
It is, yes.
And we're going to have a little segment of, well, sing it then.
How about it?
And so this week's artist we are going to be listening to is Dottie Blanco.
Yes.
She is a native of the Inland Empire, the IE, for all us Southern Cali folks who know what it is.
So go and support.
Shout out.
Yes.
But she is a artist, rapper, producer, engineer, all of that. And she's dope. So we're just going to go right into this right now.
What's good, y'all? It's your girl, Dottie Blanco, and you're listening to Breaking Hollywood.
That's all I know. Yeah. If you ain't talking money, you can go. Yeah. If you talking money, we can roll. Yeah. Loyalty, the only thing I know. Yeah, how about that thing? You know that I'm with the shits for my mains. Yeah, these niggas too lame. Back it up, gon' back it up, cause you not gang gang. They say, ooh, knew you would be rich way back in high school. And I say,
all I know. All right, Dottie Blanco.
You better bring it.
I hears ya. She's got a new single that's coming out on the 27th of June.
Yes.
We couldn't play that one. I wanted to play that one, but, we don't have the censor beat.
Right.
So I couldn't censor it.
And so in real time, we can't do it. So we have to,
Well, we can do it, but we're choosing not to just because, we're an all audience.
That's right.
Type of podcast. So I don't want to offend nobody. But if
and people let their kids listen,
And that's true. And if you do enjoy some good rap, hip hop, that got a little bit of ratchet in there, then go head over to iTunes, Spotify, or any of those platforms where you can listen to music and look up my girl Dottie Blanco. Yes, love you, Smitty.
And I want to say this. I am not a big fan of hip hop at all. Like not even a little bit. But this is something that I would listen to. And the only reason, like the song that I actually really, really liked, we couldn't play only due to the language of it. And I know that there are some kids who listen and so forth. But that song is actually really, really good. It's a bunch of letters. Yeah. Right. And I don't know all of them off the top of my head. And I can't say the name. Well, I do. I just can't say the name out loud due to some of the language. Yeah. Again, I'm not a big hip hop fan. But I did like that song and I liked it a lot.
Good.
And so for some of the songs that I do enjoy, I'm like, yes.
And that is what this segment is for. This segment is not only to highlight the types of music that we listen to, the genres that we listen to on a daily basis, but to just go through all of them. And if somebody's good at their craft, they're good at their craft. Period. Poo.
And they open us up to new experiences.
Exactly, because you might hear something and be like, oh, exactly. I like that.
Just like with that. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. When Trina told me that it was a hip hop artist, y'all should have saw my face. And we went back and forth for a little while on it because she knows how I feel about hip hop.
But we don't go back and forth because it's my segment and I do what I want.
Well, I had to go back and forth with you over the Aladdin segment. So we went back and forth over this one. So how about you just suck it up, Buttercup? Yeah. So what I was saying was.
I do what I want.
She's a Leo. And we let that be that.
And you're a sad.
Exactly. So what I was saying was though, there are certain hip hop songs that I like Mac Miller, He has a song that I actually like. There's a bunch of other ones. Jay-Z, Common, Kanye.
I thought that was gonna be the only one. And then you say, there's a bunch of other ones. And don't list any more of you. I was gonna say.
No, because some of the songs, actually some of their songs are on my affirmation playlist. A lot of them because
and you can't forget Pharrell now.
Well, I hadn't gotten to him yet, but a lot of them are on my playlist because even though I may not listen to a lot of it, like the trap stuff, some of their lyrics are affirmations for those people those people, I was going to say of color, but then I was thinking of the blacks. So I got stuck in between which one to choose. But, for people of color, there are some great affirmational songs out there in hip hop. So I embrace that aspect of it because just because it's not delivered in the form in which I would like it to be delivered, which is dance pop.
Can you speak English today?
I know. I'm like, what the mess?
Just because Absolutely not. I won't speak.
Right. I need her to just come on here with the realness, like for real.
Oh man.
But yeah,
I'm tired.
I know. We've talked about her. I know.
Oh boy. Okay.
But I get it. And I like it. Dottie, you have a new fan. Don't pay attention to this heifer. Don't listen to her. She's on one.
I'm tired, y'all.
She is.
Smitty, I'm tired. And Smitty knows, like, that's our thing. She knows. I say that all the time. I actually got that from my father back in the day. He used to tell everybody, joke, I'm tired. And so.
Let me just tell you the joy that I had from seeing Pop this week. He had me busted up laughing.
He's crazy.
I know, because it's been many years since I've seen him, and it's been years since I saw Mom. So it was good to see the both of them.
Listen, my dad, let me tell y'all, my dad thinks he's so hip. Like, I'm going to see Chris Brown. I have my tickets. To see Chris Brown. I will be sitting 4th row in San Diego. Yep. I dropped that bag for them tickets.
Right. You got to be close.
So.
Because you're shorter.
Oh. Okay.
No shade.
It's on.
No, it's on. No, it's no shade.
It's on. No, it's on. So that's that. But anyway, he thinks he's cool. So he started playing No Guidance as soon as me, Carl, and Mark get in the car to like show them that he's hip and he knows like the new songs. Child. But y'all know that's my song.
Right.
But anyway. So yes. Anyway, back to you, Smitty. Because Smitty understands the I'm tired that I use all the time.
Right.
And I'm tired, girl. Love you so much. Thank you for always supporting us.
Always.
She always posts us.
Always.
In her stories. And I just love and appreciate it so much. And she posted yesterday, I think it was, on her thing, you need to support your friends. Support your friends.
That's right.
Like, and you do. If they are talented, then we do that.
Thank you.
And that is that on that.
But I noticed you said something that's the truth.
What?
If they talented.
Yeah.
Okay. You was real clear with that. Thank you.
Period, Pooh.
Right. Because I am all about supporting.
Because some of y'all be supporting mess.
I wouldn't quite go put it like that. But yeah.
Y'all be supporting untalentedness stuff.
You know what, though? Now that I think about it, we are extremely blessed to literally be surrounded by a lot of talented people.
Surrounded.
Yes. I could list right now 5 of them that I'd just be like, yes. John, Levance, Angie, they're talented. So, yes.
Okay.
I could run them off.
Who is Angie?
Angie, the one who used to sing with Kelly Clarkson. She used to sing with, Angie, Big Sister, Angie Fisher. She's the one that hit that soprano.
Oh, okay.
I should have said Big Sister. My bad.
I should have
just said Big Sister.
Sorry, Angie.
Have you ever called her by her name?
No, and whenever I think of Angie, I think of my mother.
Exactly. And that's why I never said Angie's name. You met her as Angie and you said, oh, that'll be easy to remember, but I always say Big Sister. Right.
Yes. So anyway, that's that on that. Smitty, again.
Do you.
Kudos to you. Yes. So we are going to move on to our next segment.
My favorite.
And it is our favorite time of the day as the Mexican. It's tea. that's not even right. This isn't even the right segment.
But you got me good with that one. You got me good.
This is it.
That's all right,
the right
though.
Segment. We're supposed to be at Help Me Fix My Life.
But that's okay. Let's go here. Let's go here because the Help Me Fix My Life is going to segue right perfectly into our personal self-care. Time this week. Because, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Woo, that took it. Oh. That took the cake. All right. So, on to our first thing and tea time.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about Sircie Varnardo's shooting. Now, if y'all don't know, in Chi-Town, there was Sircie. She was out shopping at Walgreens and was suspected of shoplifting.
Yes.
So instead of calling the authorities, the Walgreens employee took it upon himself to call their friend for backup. He shows up telling everybody that he was Chicago PD and gets into a physical altercation with the lady, right. Pulls out and he has his gun pointed at her. Pulls out the gun pointed at her and shoots her in her face.
Actually, it was after she fell. Then after the struggle, she fell to the ground. And when she was on the ground, hurt from the struggle, then he shot her. They shot.
It was him.
No, it's a he because, that's right. It was a he.
Yeah, he turned himself in. But he was telling everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was telling everybody he was a police officer. What is up with these renegades?
It's getting a bit insane. It really is, because when I originally heard about the story and I read the story, they said it was an officer. So I was thinking okay, another person shot dead by an officer because he claimed that.
He was telling people.
Which is insanity. And then after reading and looking up different sources, I was like, oh my God, okay, this is completely crazy. How are people just saying they're a cop? They don't have to show a badge or anything. Has the local police authorities actually claimed him as their own, or was that completely a false statement now?
It was just a false statement. It's
Jesus Christ.
He just went in there telling people, I'm the police. I'm the police.
Do you know what angered me?
Daggone well, he wouldn't. And then she had the nerve to shoot her in her face.
Right. After already being down, and she's an older woman.
No, yeah, 46.
Yeah. She's still older. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how old this man is.
And she only weighed 120 pounds, so he was definitely bigger than her.
Exactly. My thing is this. The issue that really frustrated me, even more on top of the senseless killing, was the fact of that he left the scene.
Yeah.
The police actually pulled all the tapes and everything.
He fled.
Yes. And then it said that they were in contact with his representatives. Okay, so he murdered somebody. And again, you've told me that he has since turned himself in.
The representative was probably the employee because that was her friend or his friend.
See, now, I don't know if representative meant his attorney, but normally if they have been speaking to somebody's attorney, they say their attorney, because they did that with Jussie Smollett, where they're back and forth speaking with his legal counsel. But they didn't say that. They just said his representative. What does that mean?
But again, this is Chicago.
Why is this person not in jail? They committed a crime, regardless if it's a police officer or not, or a civilian. He needs to be locked up.
And she needs to go.
Period. Period. To the jail, under the jail.
Right.
You don't just come in, excuse me, I'm a police officer. Bang, bang, pow. What?
It's
gives
insanity.
You the right.
And then
so anyway, we wanted to give you the little tea on that. That Chicago, y'all been just tripping.
No, period. I'm not going to put that all off on Chicago. And you know what? Let me tell you why.
Been tripping.
I can't even believe I'm going to say this.
R. Kelly.
No, let me just tell you why.
Jesse.
I'm not going there.
And now the fake cop. Listen, Chicago, you've been tripping. And you need a timeout. Take a break. Tired of this.
Just because Chicago's situations are taking precedent in the media doesn't mean that it's not happening everywhere else, because we know there's some craziness in California.
Listen,
and we know that from living here. That's why.
We already know Florida is messed up, okay?
Listen
we already know.
Right, because your best friend launched his campaign for 2020. So.
Who did?
You don't know? Your best friend was all in the news.
Who is my best friend?
Come on. The Oompa.
that ain't my friend. He might be friends with the blacks, but he ain't my friend. I don't fit
but you
in that
know
category.
What? We're not going there. We took the kids to an assembly on Friday with the Young Visionaries, were the people who were putting it on. That. And there was somebody who spoke. I didn't record his segment because I was trying to take it in. And the reason I was trying to take it in is because he is someone who has stepped forward as a police officer, and he was raised in a really rough neighborhood where he had.
Wait a minute. You said he stepped forward as a police officer. Was he a real one? Was he a real one like Chicago?
He is a real officer. I'm not going to say his name because what I'm going to say after that, my personal opinion about the situation, which is why his program, I strongly support it, but there are certain aspects of it. And again, you're not going to please everybody. And this is just my, outtake on it. Yeah. I believe what he's doing. He was raised in a rough neighborhood. And being raised in that rough neighborhood, he has dealt with really horrible police officer experience. So he used to call the police officers pigs and all that. However, he said as he got older, he was led to become an actual police officer. So now he's a police officer. And from being a police officer, he understood that there are good cops and there are bad cops. He said his calling, that he believes his passion in life, is to open up the dialogue that, yes, every profession has good and bad. Doctors have good doctors and bad doctors. There's good of everything. But what he's trying to do is bridge the gap and saying, look, there's certain things that cops have to do that put them in harm's way as well. And as a person, you need to understand that. And so I love what he's doing. The issue that I had personally is that, and I think this is just based on his personal beliefs, that it's not inclusive of those of us who might be questioning, or those of us who might have a different lifestyle than him, meaning the LGBTQ. And again, you're not going to please everybody. His overall message, I agree with. And his personal beliefs, I understand. He might not be there. He didn't speak about them. So this is an assumption of mine. I want to be very clear with that. However, his program is wonderful. And that was something that he was saying, he was against the officers until he had to be in that situation, and he had to make the split decision. So what he did is he opened up my eyes to seeing what being an officer means in that situation, how quickly you have to think about, okay, am I going to be in danger? Exactly. Yeah. And he used several instances of people being on drugs and how he had to react. Somebody pulling out a weapon and how he had to react. You have to make these decisions and literally landscape the entire moment in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
And so he's not excusing the people being shot. He's not excusing that at all. But what he's trying to help our ethnic community do is better understand where some of those people are coming from and the decisions that they have to make. So,
and that's understandable.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get it. It's just sad that whenever it actually comes to a point where we're going to open the lines of communication between us as civilians and the police so that people are comfortable with, the situation.
Right.
It just never happens.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Or even if it does happen, there's no, it just goes back to what it was.
Right. So, there's no stick with itness.
Yeah. That's the sad part about it.
It is.
But, it's his life.
But I'm grateful for people like him where he feels that it's his personal mission to bridge that gap. So at least somebody's passionate about it and staying with it and just starting the dialogue. I like that. But yeah.
So yeah.
Next tea. This is some funny tea.
Oh.
So I want to mention this. I happened to run across it on The View, but there's this valedictorian. Her name is Natalie Burr.
Yes.
Did you hear about her?
Yes.
Yeah. So Natalie Burr got up and gave her valedictorian speech. And when I tell you she went in on the staff, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's how blown away I was.
All right.
Let me just give you a direct quote of what she said. So one of her direct quotes was this. This is she goes, and to the teacher who was regularly intoxicated at work, thank you for using yourself as an example to teach students about the dangers of alcoholism.
Period, boo.
Period. I don't know what.
Call him out.
But I love, this is a great example, and I'm going to learn how to master this, of being able to check somebody in a loving way. She found the positive in that.
Yes, because you taught me what not to do. Thank you, sweetie.
But she was so genuine about it. She wasn't trying to be, she probably was being shady.
She was being shady, for sure. For sure. She was just trying not to get in trouble. So she was like, how can I say this?
What they going to do to her? She's leaving,
but they could have, in front of her parents.
They could have shut her down because they shut a lot of valedictorians down this year.
Did you hear about the one?
There's plenty of them.
The one who said Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, and then her mic stopped working. They cut it off. I'm like,
And there was another gentleman where he was trying to come out and his was cut off.
He was trying to come out.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Really?
Yes. And they shut him off. Yes, there's about like 7 or 8 of them this year that have gone viral of these valedictorians who are sick. Come on now. They're sick of it. They're like, our voices will not be cut off. I love that.
Yeah.
If we got a troll who wants to let us know his side of the story, fake news. So no.
I was looking at a clip of him today because they were asking him about.
They asked him a question? I don't know why they keep doing that.
They was asking him, do you feel bad about putting out your hate campaign, basically, to have the Central Park 5 executed?
Oh, I don't even want to talk. I don't want to talk about that. It really gets me angry because he still refuses to apologize about being wrong.
He won't apologize. But the whole time I was just looking at his hair. Like, he has a mullet toupee. Like, all around.
Wherever the wind blows.
Like, all around it is white, and then it's this mustard yellow on the top.
It is. And you know what, though?
It ain't even blonde. Is it even real hair?
It's horse.
I think it's goat. Like, what the heck is... He's a weirdo.
You know what?
In a nice way.
You
see how I cleaned
You did.
I tried.
Has caused me to check a lot of things within myself.
Yes. And outside, because I look at myself too, like, do I look like a Cheeto Puff or
I'm not going there.
What am I looking like?
I'm not going there. I'm really praying that shift of positivity comes about, because really what I saw at the Museum of Tolerance stuck with me, and I see it happening right now. And I believe that we are stronger than that to let history repeat itself here. So I am still on that mindset. And trust me, I'm going to be getting active with politics this year as well. If I need to volunteer with somebody, I will.
Yes. And I totally agree, because like I was telling my mom after we came back from the meeting and our shoot, I was like, I'm just really excited about it. I'm just excited about it.
Yes.
There's nothing like, it's not like, I'm just excited. That's it.
To do something for somebody else.
To help out.
That's right.
To actually feel like you're being a part of something. It's nice.
Exactly.
To have that feeling. So.
Exactly. I'm with you on that one. So we're going to move on to the next one.
Yeah, let's move on.
So Kevin Feige, who's the president of Marvel Studios, he was recently recorded saying in an interview saying that they're going to re-release Avengers Endgame with some additional footage at the end, a tribute, and after credit scene. And
a tribute to what?
Well, they didn't say. It's, but he came out and he said that it's kind of a final marketing push. And let me just give you the context as to why. Huh? This is what kind of made me like, oh, dude, like, really? That's gross. But okay, so, the highest grossing film currently of all time right now is Avatar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which grossed $2.78 billion, right? Mm-hmm. So Endgame, do you know what they finally closed at?
What?
Well, they didn't officially close, but they closed at $2.74 billion. So they're only a $45 million difference from being the number one grossing film of all time.
Right.
But this is where I have a bigger issue. And and even saying this right now, I get it. Kevin Feige, he's just concerned about Marvel as a company. He's not looking at the whole picture. But think about this. Yeah. Disney is their parent company right now. Disney's already purchased Fox. So that means that Disney currently already holds the top 5 of the highest grossing films of all time. And the top 10, Disney has about 5 or 6 of them already. They have the spots for the highest grossing film of all time, which is Avatar. And now for them to be doing an extra push to just have Endgame be that, I'm just like, and I don't know if it's worth me going to see again just to see the little extra snippets at the end. It's not the extended cut. It's not the director's cut. It's just those little things.
I'm just going to say this. And then and it is what it is. The proof is in the pudding. Okay. Y'all had a series, a legacy of movies to build up to this one in order for this one to even be at this range. Avatar came out and that was it. There was no prelude. There was nothing.
But yes, there was. It was groundbreaking because he took the 3D effect that had never been used. He created that and then he created the true CGI characters.
I'm saying there was no
story build up, right?
It's not a build up of the story. People were intrigued because it was different. It was new. It was something fresh.
It wasn't fresh.
And then boom.
It wasn't fresh because I gave my opinions on Avatar. Avatar is nothing but Fern Gully. It's the same story as Fern Gully.
But I'm saying though, as a whole, like the effects, like you said, the CGI all of that, like it was new, it was fresh, it was something that nobody had done before.
That's right.
So if you want the top spot, you got to bring it, and it's not fair for you to redo and so that you can get to that point. Like
exactly.
No,
if that was the real reason,
you didn't get first place, so you don't deserve it.
Well, if he wouldn't have said
if you ain't first, you last.
All right, Ricky Bobby. My thing, and again,
first loser.
I don't compare the two of them because they are two different things. It's like comparing apples and oranges.
What?
Today is the day. You know what?
I can't find my headphones.
Right.
You can't talk.
But you know why I love these
Stars
days?
Got an attitude.
The reason I love these days is because it keeps me humble and it keeps me from being arrogant, letting me know that this is still a journey for me. And as I'm bettering myself, and it also reminds me not to take myself so seriously. Like, just don't take it so seriously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and as one of the blacks, you should know. Not to be don't be so serious.
Right.
All right, so we're going to move on to
our final segment.
Our final segment, well, yes.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Help Me Fix My Life. You better help me fix my life. You better help me fix my life. You better help me fix my life. Fix my life today. You better help me fix my life. That's tenors. Better help me fix my life.
You better go ahead.
Tenors, help me fix my life. Fix my life today. Since I went to gospel fest, I felt like it was,
I was ready.
Help a necessity. Me. Fix my life.
Help me.
Fix my life.
Help me.
Fix my life. Fix my life today.
Help me.
Fix my life.
Help me.
Fix my life.
Help me.
Fix my life. Fix my life today.
Yes. That's because of Karen. Give it to you, Karen. You did that to her. And this one, I accepted that one because that was a good one.
You better help me. That was the tenor. But I just can't. I can't do it. Since I can't go that way. So anyway, okay. Here is our Help Me Fix My Life of the day. It says, Hey, Trina and Karl. I will try to keep this one as brief as I can. My ex, Alex, and I broke up. This is the second time he has broken up with me in the 10 months we were together. The first time he told me that I had very negative energy. What?
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Oh, what is so funny?
No. I was hearing the whole choir and I just got down to the breakdown in my head.
Oh, help me.
The music cut and the organ hit everything.
To it.
All of it. No, and so it was still going in my head. I was still there. And then I caught myself because I realized I was still there and I was getting ready to go in. So I laughed. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you like how I took it there. Straight to the meat. Let's do it. Forget it. All right. Sorry. Sorry, Tyree. All right. So the first time he told me that I had very negative energy and he didn't want to be around it. I'll admit it was true due to me not being happy with work and my depression. Karl, I can't. Okay. I'm going to start over.
Please. Please forgive me. Again, I had this conversation with Trina's mom yesterday.
Make me pee.
I've had this conversation with Trina's mom yesterday.
Oh, I'll be right back.
Please understand me. Please understand. I am not laughing at anyone. I am not trying to make fun of anyone. But I said I'd much rather laugh through situations and be happy about things than to be disappointed about things, okay? So that's where I am. Tyree, I'm not laughing at you. I promise you that. Okay.
Whew.
Okay.
All right. You good?
Yes, I'm good now.
Do you promise?
I promise.
Because
I really am.
I can't right now.
I know.
All right.
Okay. See? You can't. You can't. I'm going to read it. I'm reading it. I'm taking over. I can't. Okay.
I'm done. All right.
Nope. We gotta. Okay. I got this.
No, I got it. All right. Back to the beginning. Hey, Trina and Karl, I will try to keep this as brief as I can.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It was too much. Too soon. Okay, I got it. All right, Here we go. Hey, Trina and Karl, I will keep this one as brief as I can. My ex, Alex, and I broke up. This is the second time he has broken up with me in the 10 months we were together. The first time, he told me that I had very negative energy and he didn't want to be around it. I'll admit it was true due to me not being happy with work and my depression, but I have and had been trying to keep a positive mentality since then.
Okay.
Eventually, we worked it out and got back together. We were on a great path, and I even started changing some of my habits to make him happy. I stopped going out because he was a homebody, and I stopped talking to most of my friends.
Oh.
Then one day, he broke it off. No warning, no nothing. His reasons were that he was no longer happy and he felt like I was smothering him. I am so upset and going back into a negative space because of this. I have no idea how to get him back and how to get happy again. Like, I have never changed for anyone in my life, and the one time I do, I get ran over. I need your help, guys. How do I get the love of my life back? Tyree.
Okay. Tyree, please understand, honey, we were not laughing at the situation. However, I do want to address several things that you wrote. I understand that depression can be a very haunting and daunting thing.
It's tricky.
It is. I have been there. We talked about that last week. I've been there. But I had to understand something. And I'm just going to leave it at this because I think this will sum all of it up. I had to look at me. And honey, hear me when I say this to you, because I mean this in all honesty. Sometimes we want to blame our situation on somebody else.
Yeah.
That is our human nature, is to try to say, it's not me. I'm fine. But when it came to me dealing with my depression, I had to understand that it was me putting myself through that vicious cycle. And let me break it down. For me, it was the thoughts. My thoughts were replaying to me over and over and over again. So instead of thinking the positive things about me or the positive thoughts, what I would do was allow myself to think bad things and then continue to replay those. So then all that was happening to me was, it was just a big old loop. And then somebody else say something negative because I was already in that spot, and then I add that to the loop. Yeah. And so it wasn't until I looked at me and until I finally got to that point where I said, I don't want this anymore. I'm not living that way anymore. Did it change? My husband tried. My mom tried. My sister tried. Yeah. People who were closest to me tried. And it didn't matter what they said. It was not good enough. Do you want to know why? Because it was a self-fulfilling prophecy that I was living out.
Yeah.
I was doing it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am not speaking about people who have mental, I don't want to use that word because that has a negative stigma on it. I'm not speaking about people who have other disorders. I'm specifically speaking about depression specifically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
And also, one thing that was a red flag for me, I read there that you said you changed.
Exactly.
To make them happy. So this happens in relationships. People change to make the situation more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem then with that is because you can't keep it up.
Come on now.
Once you change once you change one thing, then you got to start changing everything, because
that's right.
The thought process then in that relationship becomes, oh, well, they will do that because I want them to. They will change for me. And then there's this level change where one becomes higher on a pedestal because you are willing to change who you are, how you interact with other people, your relationships with other people, all of these things for this one person. And if it doesn't last, it doesn't work out, then who you got left? Because you done exiled the whole world.
Everybody.
I feel like in this, you're asking us how to get this person back. But really, we need to focus on the fact that you have stated within this whole thing, you're not happy and you're depressed. So with that,
nothing else should matter.
With that being said, nothing else should matter but you getting better. You focusing on you, which segues into our self-care portion of the show, because we are trying to become an authentic person. And in order to do that, you need to focus on yourself. You need to get yourself to a point to where you are happy with you. You cannot bring anybody else happiness if you ain't happy. It's false. It's fictitious.
That's right.
It ain't real. All of those words mean the same thing.
That's correct.
So,
and many people believe that their happiness comes from others.
And
the reason they believe
it comes from within.
Exactly. And the reason they believe that is because, I'll just use a simple example. People get so happy at Christmas time because they know that they're getting something. Instead of really going, why does this make me happy? Like, is this true happiness? Because I know for me as a kid, when I got something for Christmas, I was so excited to ask for the things I wanted, because that's like the one time we get to be glutton for gifts. And then a week later, I'm over it.
But didn't get to think about the sacrifices that your parents had to make in order to get you that stuff. And the things that, they might not have had in order so that you would be happy.
Exactly. And then honestly, not even really needing it. Do you know what I mean?
Or used it for a week and then threw it in the corner.
That's exactly. We see that all the time.
That's how some of y'all do yourselves.
And that's where we're going. That's what you do.
You treat yourself as if you're a little rag doll.
Come on now.
You things happen in your life, and then all of a sudden you this stupid person, or
and
all
you
of
just
these
let
things.
It go. That's right.
After you've built yourself up from where you used to be, and another thing that you do is you invest too much time in other people's opinions and all of that stuff. Like when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's not to change into people who you want to be dating. It's I'm dating you because I like you for who you are and everything that you are about.
I want to say this real quick, Trina, but I don't blame this person only because we talked about this when we were hanging out. Our generation grew up with having to go outside, having to interact face to face.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up on social media where it is social media showing us all the highlight reel of everybody's life. Mm-hmm. And then little do we know that behind the scenes, they're crying, they're broken.
Yeah.
But we see what they post on social media. And we talked about this in the past, and it's because nobody wants to deal with anybody who's constantly depressed on social media, which is ridiculous. If we think about that, think about that. Everybody has a certain degree of where they hurt. But we don't want to deal with that.
Nope.
But we much rather see them be posting stuff up that's not real because they're in Barbados or they're in Jamaica or they're in Europe. And that's the highlight reel. And then once we see that version, we get jealous of that. And then compare our lives to that. So that's a catch-22. We don't want to see real life on there. We want to see a fake version of life.
But we don't want to see you happy either.
Woo! Huh.
And that's not speaking for me because I really do want to see, I want to see everybody happy.
I do as well, whatever that looks like.
But I'm saying, when you look at it as a whole, and we're doing it as a whole.
A society.
These are different reactions to what people want to see.
That's right.
And so really from this, Tyree, I really think that, Alex said, I respect Alex because Alex could have just been done with you and gave you no reason, but he gave you a reason and he said, I'm not happy.
But you know where that comes from? That comes from Alex finally saying
what he wants.
I have to watch. Yes, exactly. Alex has taken the time to get to know him.
Yep.
And so with Alex being able to exploit himself, he can say, this is not energy that I want around me. This is not something I want to entertain. Yes. And it could be for this moment because I am not strong enough. It could be for a lifetime saying, no, the energies just don't match. Whatever Alex's reasoning is, you'll never know until you ask Alex.
Yeah.
However, what I'm saying is Alex has taken the time to get to know him.
Yes. And you, I feel like at this point, you're expressing you don't like your job. Well, do something about it.
Yes.
You're expressing that you're depressed. Okay, let's peel back those layers and work on it. Like, it's time to take control of Tyree and Tyree's actions and Tyree's thoughts and Tyree's feeling and Tyree's heart and Tyree's spirit.
Because they matter. Because
Tyree, at the end of the day, you're never going to feel complete with anybody else if you're not happy. Like, this is the most, and the crazy thing is, because I've been in it. So to ask this question, I'm still asking myself, why? The question is, when you're not happy with yourself and you're just not happy in general, what makes you stay in a relationship with people who are not appreciative of who you are and what you do for them?
Come on now.
And I asked myself that question when I've been in past relationships. Like, why?
And this is not just when they're throwing a tantrum.
And not exactly.
Exactly. When it's not, well, I just want my way. Not one of those times.
No, I'm talking about as a whole, because
exactly.
You know, and you coddle this treatment.
That's right.
It's been present.
That's right.
It might have been something slow, like slowly seeing the change, but it's happened. When you can wake up the next day and you don't have anybody to text in your phone and to call a friend because you've isolated so many people so that you could solely make this person happy, there's a problem.
There is.
When you wake up in the morning,
too much of anything is unhealthy.
Yes. And and if you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself and you're really just like, you're not happy, but you have somebody laying in the bed next to you, that's a problem, because you cannot address that you are having issues with that person. You feel like you have to hold it on the inside. That's a problem. The main concern for anybody in or out of a relationship should be your own self-care, your own mental health. And then from there, you can put those other person's needs into consideration as well. But you will not be able to do anything for that person if you cannot do anything for yourself.
But you know what, though? Let me tell you what helped me open up to that. We, as a country, America, are very watchworthy. And let me explain what I mean. When I moved to the UK, it amazed me how honest people were. I loved it. And I loved how they were not in your business. They didn't care. Here in America, we do. And I think that's where it all comes from, is we look at other people because it keeps us from having to focus on us.
Yeah.
My growth started when I moved to the UK, this whole shift and change, because I want to focus and better me.
Yeah, you want to zone out here because America's hard. Like, everybody thinks it's the land of the free, but it's not. You're working, slaving for paychecks. Unless you have a very, very good job, you're slaving away for a paycheck in order for you to be able to survive. So you want to have an escape and be able to look at the people who have money and be able to just live this fabulous life that you wish you could have.
And we're in an entertainment country. And with that, I mean, look at it.
It's a slave-driven mindset is what
it is. It is. The system is a slave-driven system. I completely agree with you on that. Absolutely. But I'm just saying we're striving for entertainment. And so our entertainment is watching other people's lives. So instead of going out and making the best life that we have, and don't get me wrong, because, you know, I'm going into entertainment. I personally don't like that whole reality television thing. I've never really liked it.
The only thing that we had growing up that was reality was Real World and Road Rules.
Yeah.
That's it. And those were competitions.
I loved Road Rules because it was competitions about people forcing themselves to be better. Now, Real World, I didn't like the Real World because that got kind of messy. I watched some of them, absolutely. But in watching Road Rules was the one I liked, where it would pull the people and make them do these challenges, you know, as a team for money. Now, those I loved. I absolutely adored that. But, you know.
But that was the start of it.
Exactly. MTV was responsible for that. That's right.
You know, Tyree and anybody. It's not just Tyree, because, you know.
There's many of us.
I'm still doing it every day. Working on myself.
Because it's an ongoing journey. It can't just be, I wake up one day and you know what?
I'm good.
I'm good. And this is the reason why, is people hear the word journey and they think, oh God, I'll never get there, so why try? That's not what type of journey this is. Just think about it. Anybody who goes to Disneyland, they go to Disneyland because they enjoy the story that's being told. And it's all a journey. Think about it. Every ride is a journey. You enjoy watching movies because they take you on a journey. with images that tell you something. Mm-hmm. And so if it was just, oh, well, this movie's going to be long, I'm not going to go see it, then you wouldn't have any entertainment. Yeah. Same thing with video games. The same thing with anything. You need to learn to start enjoying the journey. Stop looking at it through negative lenses. Yes. And I used that valedictorian earlier in the way she worded it. Because, yes, she was being shady, but she still worded it in a way that changes the whole perspective of it.
Yeah. Yes.
That's where depression comes from, is the perspective of things.
You have to change it because depression never goes away. It doesn't go away. It's something that you constantly have to deal with and press.
That's right.
You know, like, and I don't want to say suppress because we always say to address these things and not push it down.
No, you check it.
In this case, exactly. You check it nicely and you say, no, not today. Hang it up. Stay in the closet.
That's right.
And you come out.
That's right. That's right.
Period. You have more power than that thing, than that depression, than those drugs, than that whatever. You have the ability, you have the power, than your self-confidence, your lack of self-confidence, I'm going to say
this. I watched the Netflix documentary with David Letterman, and Kanye was on there, and he spoke about being bipolar. And let me just tell you, he spoke so eloquently and letting us all know that it's something that he has to continue to work on. If you haven't seen that, go watch it, because I don't want you all to think that I'm downplaying these disorders or these mental struggles, because I'm not at all, because you know that I am one that I have spoke freely about suffering from depression. But like Trina said, it is a day-to-day thing. And it's a moment-to-moment thing, because there's plenty of things that I could look at in my life and focus on and allow myself to go back there. But I made a promise to myself. That tattoo that I got when I said I was marrying myself and making a promise to myself that I wasn't going back there, that's what it was about, is being in the present moment every day and checking that. Because just like that movie, The Tethered, if you don't check that side of you, it will run rampant.
Yeah. Period. That's that on that.
Ain't it that on that?
Focus on you. It's a daily thing. It's ongoing. It's forever. Don't change for someone else. If they don't respect who you are as who you are, they're not for you, boo-boo. And that's just that.
Can I say this? Some people enjoy the feelings that they get. So then you just be around people who enjoy that with you.
I like it.
How about that?
How about it? Oh, breakers. I get to go take a nap now. Because I'm tired.
You would.
No.
Yes.
But for real. Well, we love you.
And we mean it.
And we mean it.
And on that note.
Yes. On that note.
Love, light and positivity. Always.
Always.
Bye. High five.
Yeah, high five.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.